Hello, I am the Gentlemanly Gamer.
And I'm Zane Taicho.
Welcome to the Undisputed Nerds YouTube channel. You're about to watch a clip from our podcast, which we do every week, and you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of your other favourite podcast platforms.
Don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Hope you enjoy the clip.
If more proof was needed that DC needs to understand what they're doing, then there it is. But there we go. Anyway, so that's all the DC news for this week. Marvel or Misk?
Ooh, let's do Marvel.
Let's do Marvel. All right. So both bits of Marvel news this week revolve around Disney Plus, with some very interesting statistics coming out this week. So we'll start with the stats one, and then we'll go into some of the juicy stuff. So in Disney's latest upfront presentation to advertisers, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige has revealed the most watched MUC series on Disney Plus so far. Ooh. Would you like to have a guess which one it is, Zane?
My money is on either Loki or WandaVision. I think it's going to be Loki.
You are correct, my friend.
Yes.
So this is according to Nielsen's ratings. Their basically shows are rated depending on their watch times. So it's minutes watched. Right. So basically, it's for all the viewers who watched it, it's how many minutes they accrued watching the shows themselves. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. Yeah. So current data for full season watch times for the 4 live-action Disney Plus Marvel shows released in 2021 are as follows. Loki, 5.23 billion minutes watched. Ooh. So that is 872 million minutes per episode. WandaVision was second with 4.8 billion minutes watched, 534 million minutes per episode. Here's where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier was third with 4.15 billion minutes watched. Hawkeye coming up behind with 3.46 billion, which I find fascinating because I would have thought for sure Hawkeye would have garnered more interest, especially once you found out the reveal of who the big villain was in it. But
yeah,
no. Whereas Falcon and Winter Soldier was kind of just like all right, cool. It dealt with some quite good issues in it, and it was nice to see Sam Wilson become Captain America. But it wasn't. I didn't think it set the world on fire. What are your thoughts on these numbers? What do you think it means?
You're right. It's the sort of tail end of it is really interesting because the star power I would have thought would have been more of the thing. So, for example, I would have thought Jeremy Renner, and Hayley Atwell.
Hayley Stanfield,
sorry. Atwell?
You got her on the brain.
I've got Captain Carter on the mind.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought the star power of that would have drawn more people to it, to opposed to, it sounds awful, but the side characters from other movies. Because that's what this whole experiment was, wasn't it, really? It's like, Let's give a platform for these characters that we haven't really done much before until now. So, yeah, I'm really surprised by that. But then I guess it shows like how much fan favorites they were, like even though they didn't get.
I think what this also shows is how much of an influence the crossover between live action movies and TV has. Mm-hmm. The one thing that this doesn't record is the what if data. I'm very curious to see what the what if numbers were on that. So that was obviously 2021 as well, and it doesn't have any detailings of it in this report. But I will say it was very, very well established at the beginning of this whole announcement stuff that WandaVision and Loki were going to have massive ramifications for the MCU as a whole.
That's true.
Hawkeye and Falcon and Winter Soldier, whilst Falcon becoming Captain America, everyone pretty much assumed he was going to be Captain America at the end of Endgame anyway. So the fact that Loki and WandaVision were the most watched shows by quite some way, and they had the biggest ramifications for the MCU as a whole, kind of to me suggests that maybe because normies knew that they were going to need to watch these shows in order to keep up to date with what was happening in the movies that they like to go and see, they tuned in to watch it. That is possibly one explanation of it. I would love to see what the Moon Knight figures were.
Yeah, me too. Because
the last Nielsen chart for the week of this year, they did review that Moon Knight was watched. The first three episodes, were watched 638 million minutes. So that would put it, if that was consistent over the rest of the time, that would put it roughly around third behind Loki and WandaVision. If it was consistent based on the amount of episodes there were versus the time. Yeah, that would put it roughly there. So it's fascinating, though. It's really fascinating.
It is fascinating. I was just thinking as well, they're almost in the set order of release as well, aren't they? So is that seen as like diminishing over a space of
possibly
a year?
Possibly. I'm not so. I don't know, because then it's because Loki. That's the thing, because it's like it was WandaVision, then Falcon, then Loki, then Hawkeye. So like I would expect it to have been like a declining scale if that was the case. But the fact that Loki hit is the most watched, and it was amazing anyway, and I loved it. But like, it's I don't know, but fascinating numbers coming out of it anyway. We'll see what the 2022 numbers were.
What number nerds we are? Did you hear us?
I know. I have to wipe the nerd drool from my mouth as I'm talking about gorgeous numbers. Anyway,
and there's me thinking about Captain Carter at the same time. What is wrong with me?
Disgust me. Right. So, according to Variety, we've been having this. We've seen this coming for a while. Variety reporting on it. It looks like it's now set in stone. A new Daredevil series is officially in the works at Disney Plus. Zane,
excuse me.
Let's go! Let's go! Yes!
Oh, he's going to be really disappointed when I tell him it's not Ben Affleck, isn't he? Oh, this is going to be really awkward. So, you might have missed that, but unfortunately, it's not going to be Ben Affleck returning to the role of Daredevil. It will be Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock returning. According to Variety, there's a TV show called Covert Affairs duo. Matt Corman and Chris Order attached to write and executive produce the series. And apparently, obviously heavy speculation. It's not 100% confirmed, but it seems very likely, as Charlie Cox has already been introduced as Matt Murdock in the MCU, as well as Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin coming in. So, thoughts on this? I think we all kind of once Charlie Cox showed up in No Way Home, I think it was all pretty much academic that it was going to happen in some form. Thoughts on it being a TV show? Happy with that? Or would you like to see him in the movies? And what do you think the story might revolve around?
I would have liked to seen a movie. I'm fine with a TV series. I'm a little worried, because
it's not Ben Affleck.
No, because I guess from a point of view, Daredevil, Netflix, they went the full mile with it. They could do, they could do blood, they can do violence and things of that nature, where I'm kind of skeptical that Disney, they have to sell lunchboxes at the end of the day. So they're going to have to dial that back. So I don't think
it's a problem, mate.
I don't think it's a problem as such, but I just don't. I feel like they're going to give us the most watered down version of Daredevil possible.
I would disagree with that quite heavily, for two reasons. Firstly, no, three reasons in fact. So, firstly, Disney Plus currently has the existing run of Daredevil from Netflix on it. If a kid wants to go and watch Daredevil, they just type in Daredevil on Disney Plus, and up comes the bish bash bosh version of Daredevil, no problem. Secondly, Disney Plus has very adult content on it. They have the entire library of Fox movies, including Predator and Die Hard and all heavy-duty movies, which if they really want to limit it for certain audiences, they could just put it under Star, you know?
Yeah.
Thirdly, I agree with you to a point that I don't think it will be as dark and gritty as existing Daredevil series was. However, it's very clear that Marvel are flexing their muscles when it comes to different types of genre of things. Look at Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and how really brutally graphic some of the violence was in that, because it was brutal. And I've watched it back because somebody's pirated it and put it on YouTube, and I've seen some of the scenes again, and it's just as horrible as I remember it being. So I agree with you. I agree with you to a point. I don't think it's going to be as you know, blood pouring out the mouth kind of like violence as you know we got used to with Netflix. However, I don't think it's going to be a you know, like light-hearted look at the Man Without Fear.
It's not going to be Born Again, but I don't know. I'm
Jason
just a little
Bourne.
skeptical. Huh?
Nothing.
Jason Bourne. I don't know. It's kind of like, what do they adapt next? Because, you know, are they just going to rehash like Man Without Fear, Born Again, and everything else that Netflix did, or are we going to get, say, for example, the latest Chip Zdarsky run, where, you know, Daredevil gets arrested and goes to prison because.
Normally with Marvel, they'll take something that has happened in the books and they'll modify it for the screen, and it won't be it'll be like little pieces here and there of bits that we've seen in the comics before. That's my guess as to what they'll probably do with it. To be honest with you, I don't think it'll be any particular storyline. I think it'll be tailored around the MCU to cater for it. Yellow suit. That's what I'm hoping. I want to see yellow suit. That'd be great. All right, so moving on to the last bit of news for the miscellaneous topics. The first bit of news I have is hilarious, and I will not read out the whole thing because it does involves heavy spoilers for something that is not yet out. So I won't go into the details of it, but I just thought this is absolutely hilarious. So The Hollywood Reporter, this comes to us from, thank you very much, Stranger Things season 4. It is coming out next week. It is coming out on the same day as Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Zane, season 4 is just over a week away. However, the merchandise for Stranger Things has hit the shelves already, and
have Lego done it again?
Not Lego this time. This one's even more funny. There is a tie-in Monopoly game that has spoiled some major plot points.
No.
It's hit shelves before